Hello everyone and welcome to my EastEnders Nihilayas channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. A flash-forward scene from February's episode of the BBC soap opera revealed a dead body in the future, surrounded by 6 Walford women, teasing the dramatic Christmas Day edition. In one of the largest plots the soap opera has ever done, Sharon Watts, Linda Carter, Denise Fox, Suki Pansar, Stacey Slater, and Kathy Beale all took center stage. Phil Mitchell, Jack Browning, Dean Wicks, Rocky Cotton, Nish Pansar, and Ravi Gulati were identified as possible victims. However, there was a shocking twist when fans discovered the facts about who and how they died last night. Nish Pansar was bottled over the head, and Keanu Taylor was viciously stabbed as he attempted to assassinate Sharon Watts. All 6 of the 6 were involved in dramatic situations earlier in the show. It was the ex-Phil Mitchell that disrupted Sharon Watts' wedding day. Bernie Taylor, who had been missiled, had informed him that groom Keanu was actually the one responsible for stealing son Albie. At the altar, Sharon realized with horror that he was telling the truth. She hit Keanu, spilling her blood all over her clothing. Just in time for Phil, Keanu's real biological father, to learn of it all. She revealed in her wrath that Albie was not, in fact, his biological son. Kathy Beale, who was running from her divorced husband Rocky Cotton, and Linda Carter brought her back to the Vic. Denise Fox soon joined them, unable to tolerate being around her husband, Jack's infidelity, after he eventually admitted to having an affair with Stacey Slater. After her husband Nish was freed from custody and returned home to abuse Suki Pansar, Stacey felt compelled to defend her. By stating Nugget had collapsed and needed immediate medical attention, he used his kid Vinny to entice her back home. However, Nish was prepared to harm her as soon as she arrived. In order to save Suki from his wrath, his son Ravi intervened to stop Nish. After stumbling into Stacey, she went in search of Eve, who was hiding out with Jack Browning. The 2 of them hurried to the Vic in order to avoid Nish. With the intention of exacting retribution, Nish knocked out his son Ravi and set out to hunt Suki. At the Vic, Phil confronted Sharon, and to his surprise, he didn't want a brawl. Rather, he requested that she allow him to get to know his kid. However, Sharon was appalled at the idea following Denny's death. However, she gave up, and Phil departed the Vic. However, there was still a danger waiting upstairs. While George was preoccupied with closing up, viewers observed Dean Wicks slip into the Vic. Later that year, he came out from upstairs as Linda went into her kitchen to sneak down some vodka that had slipped off the wagon. He watched her drink from the doorway, observing her with a frightening look on his face. Linda ran downstairs, finding the back door unlocked, panicking as Dean chased her through the tavern. Suki saw Nish searching for her when she made it downstairs, but the women persuaded her to call Nish to the pub so they could all confront him. She said, "Let's talk if you really want to. I'm in the Vic." When Nish appeared, Suki thought she was safe from the 6. "Happy holidays, ladies," he wished. "What a delightful revelation." She said to him, "Nish, I'm leaving you. You are not welcome in our home anymore. Our marriage is gone. You're going, not me." Nish was outnumbered and outgunned, but he refused to listen, and the other women supported him. He tried insulting and threatening them, but they laughed at him instead. He next tried pleading, but that didn't work either. "It's unbearable to stare at you," Nish murmured as he violently grabbed her. He attempted to grab Suki during the ensuing conflict, but the women defended her, and Denise hit him over the head with a bottle. But Keanu appeared and apprehended them as Suki attempted to save Nish's life. He attempted to demand Albie, but Sharon resisted him, and the other women stood with her. Keanu started to choke Sharon as she was giving him some hard truths, forcing Linda to grab a knife and stab him in the back. While Nish was back in the tavern, he passed out in a pool of blood. After the enormous episode, fans were in disbelief and found it difficult to handle. "What a Christmas Day episode of EastEnders that was. I'm shook," someone commented. Ever since the February 2023 Christmas Day flash forward aired, EastEnders viewers have been itching to discover not only the identity of the body on the floor, but also the person who placed it there. The BBC One soap opera eventually acknowledged on Monday, December 25, 2023, that Linda Carter was the one who had committed the crime. Fans were left guessing which member of the six, Kathy Cotton, Gillian Teleforth, Sharon Watts, Letitia Dean, Stacey Slater, Lacey Turner, Denise Fox, Diane Parrish, Linda Carter, Kelly Bright, and Suki Pansar, Balvinder Sopal, might be the murderer back in February after the flash forward. Every woman has been involved in extensive plots that depict them being mistreated by the males in their lives for the entire year. So, what was the precise course of events? You're covered by radiotimes.com. In the actual episode, Danny Walter's character Keanu Taylor made an attempt to get married to Sharon. Nevertheless, his distressed sister Bernadette Taylor, Claire Norris, revealed to her ex-husband Phil Mitchell, Steve McFadden, that Keanu had arranged the kidnapping of Sharon's son Albie. Phil Mitchell crashed the wedding with Sharon in order to expose Keanu's transgressions. After learning the truth, Sharon was appalled and hit Keanu in the face, causing blood on her palm that she then smeared on her wedding gown. During a dispute with Keanu, Sharon made fun of him by disclosing a personal secret of her own. Phil, not he, is Albie's father. Sharon immediately fled the chapel and called off the wedding, which infuriated Keanu. Sharon was escorted by friends Linda, Kathy, and Denise, the latter two of whom also avoided their deceitful estranged husbands, Jack Branning, Scott Maslin, and Tom Rocky Cotton, Brian Conley. The knowledge that his wife Kat Mitchell, Jessie Wallace, was already aware of this fact astounded Phil as well. After talking to Kat back in the square, Phil made the decision that he wanted to be involved in Albie's life. A wintry evening descended upon Walford, and Sharon, Linda, Denise, and Kathy entered the Vic and served themselves drinks. Prior to Phil's arrival, he expressed his desire to be involved in Albie's life, but Sharon refused to accept his involvement because he had raised Ben and Denny. After becoming enraged at Sharon's response, Phil shoved Kathy aside and tore her clothing, telling Sharon he would fight for his kid and walking away. Earlier in the day, Stacey and Eve Unwin, Heather Peace, angrily confronted Jack for revealing to the police that Eve was alive, so revealing their plot to frame Nish Pansar, Navin Chowdhury, and Ravi Gulati, Aaron Thayara, for Eve's murder. Jack became worried and decided to see Suki at her house, but she turned him away even though Nish was there. Suki was shocked when, at the Panesar residence, first Ravi emerged from police custody, then Nish made her eat a Christmas meal and attacked her in front of his family and kids in the kitchen and at the table. Ravi intervened and restrained his father, allowing Suki to flee the premises. Nish hit Ravi hard with a rolling pin during a brawl with his kid, rendering him unconscious and making him run after Suki. Suki looked for Eve at the Slater house in the Icy Square, but when Stacey noticed her walking around the square, they fled to the Queen Vic and joined the other 4 women of the 6 inside for protection. Upon entering the pub, Suki came out to Sharon, Kathy, Denise, and Linda, who were all taken aback by her disclosure that she was leaving Nish to be with Eve. The women had a toast together, but there was tension when they talked about the males in their life. Denise went to check on Kathy after she left the room. Following this, a struggling Linda, grieving over her first Christmas without her true love, Mick Carter, Danny Dyer, went upstairs within the Queen Vic and started sipping a bottle of vodka. She had no idea that Mick's brother and her vindictive tormentor, Dean Wicks, Matt D'Angelo, was also hidden upstairs. Although Dean continued to hide upstairs, Linda discovered a gift he had left for Gina. Then Linda noticed the back door ajar and closed it. Before Suke noticed that a cab had been cancelled, she received a call informing her that Nish had gotten away from him. The other members of the six clapped with approval for Suke, advising her to phone Nish so they can trap him at the Vic. An enraged Keanu attacked Bernie at Sharon's house for her betrayal and would not accept Sharon's claim that he was his father. Bernie told Keanu that Sharon was probably going to contact the cops. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.